Hello again, everyone. I'm Ed Dubrow along with Lee Shaneth and Andy Coca at Mission Bay in San Diego. For the third consecutive year, we're getting set to bring you our coverage of the Miller Cup. In qualifying heats earlier today, 6 drivers earned their way into the winner-take-all finale. That's where they pay the prize money. Now let's meet the lucky 6. Then we'll show you how they got there.
Hi, I'm Milner Irvin from Miami, Florida. I'm driving the Frank Kinney Toyota Unlimited U5.
The driver of the Miss Bahia U80, and I'm from Lakewood, California.
Hi, I'm Steve Reynolds from Seattle, Washington, and I drive the 711 Chief Auto Parts turbine-powered hydroplane.
Ron Snyder, Pickwell, Ohio, driving the U6 Miss Madison, Holson Miss Madison.
I drive the U17 Kempis Unlimited Hydroplane. Hi, I'm Todd Yarling from Hanover, Indiana. I drive the U22 Hydroplane.
Those are the 6 that have qualified for the big race. Should any fail to start, the first alternate is George Johnson. The second alternate is Jim Kropfeld, who set a new qualifying record here at Mission Bay. 2 others qualified to race but didn't earn the necessary points to be in the final, Scott Pierce and Jerry Hopp. As you saw at the top of the show, Chip Hanauer, who's won this race twice, Brenda Jones, who won her first race here at Mission Bay, and the inventive Jim Howenstein, who uses 8 Mercury outboards for power, failed to qualify. For those of you unfamiliar with unlimited racing, they get a flying start. The boats hit the water 10 minutes or so before the start and milled for position. For more on the start, let's go to my colleague Lee Shaneth.
The start of a race is a race within a race. These drivers are out here looking around, watching where each one is. They'd all like to be on the inside. Sometimes you can say it's like a game of chicken, but they're going 150 miles an hour. They've got to get up to that starting line at the right time. A 1-minute gun will be fired. The yellow flag will be changed to white. Then they have 1 minute to get to the starting line. If they're over that starting line, they're penalized an extra lap. But most of the drivers are there at about 160 miles an hour, and that's probably the most exciting part of the whole race, is that start and run to the first turn.
Thanks, Lee. Now let's take a look at some of the earlier action. First qualifying race of the day featured the 2 turbines of Jim Kropfeld and Steve Reynolds, along with Scott Pierce, Milner Irvin, and Todd Yarling. The turbines finished 1-2. Reynolds was the winner, averaging just under 127 miles an hour. We'll use the first lap to have Steve take us around the course so you'll know what the drivers are up against.
As we come down the home straightaway heading for the Los Angeles turn, the boat should be hitting about 180, 185 by the time we cross this starting line. The water right through here can sometimes get treacherous. We're very close to the shoreline. The waves have a tendency to roll back onto the race course. It's down into the Los Angeles turn at 100, 185 miles an hour into the first turn. They're wide turns, about 1,200 feet across. You can really let the boat hang out. We call this a flat track. This is a place where the hydroplane driver can let the boat all hang out. It's into the first turn, all you've got. We come out of the Los Angeles turn, hit up the back straightaway. Now the only area to look at right here of caution is the wind that sweeps over the top of this mound right over here toward Fiesta Island. As we're heading toward the SeaWorld turn, approaching speeds of 180 to 185, the true airspeed of the boat now comes up over 200 miles an hour, and drivers must pay strict attention to the attitude of the boat. We have to slow down ever so slightly because now our airspeed is over 200 miles an hour as we approach the SeaWorld turn. It's turn left into this corner, 1,200 feet. Let it all hang out. Come off this turn at 120. Throttle down. Accelerate toward the starting line. And it's back up to 100, 185 miles an hour, and we're off and running.
Thanks, Steve. The drivers earn points in these qualifying races. The 6 with the most points are in our final. While you watch the action in qualifying Heat 1A, Lee Shaneth will give us a lesson about these very complicated racing machines, half boat, half airplane. Lee?
This is an unlimited hydroplane, a conventional type, where the driver sits in back of the engine. He's uncomfortable because of the fumes, the heat. The newer type hydroplanes, the driver sits up forward of the engine. hydroplane is about 30 feet long and weighs approximately 7,000 pounds. It rides on a cushion of air that flows between the two sponsons. This boat just sits on this bubble of air at speeds of over 160 miles an hour. On the left-hand side, you'll see this huge skid fin. This digs in the turn and helps the boat get around the turn much faster than they did years ago. Then we have a wing. This wing's adjustable. The crew between heats can adjust this wing to get the bow of the boat either up a little higher or keep it down in the water a little more. Whatever the conditions are, they can adjust to it. The rudder is offset. It's offset because the blast of the water coming off the propeller goes straight up into the air. If you notice, the propeller is only about 15 inches in diameter, but it turns 14,000 RPMs, and that's what gives these boats all the speed they have.
Thanks, Lee. The action continues in Heat 1A. There were 4 qualifying heats today. On the inside of the turbines, it's even more complicated. The days of putting on a T-shirt and a helmet to go racing are gone. Today's driver has to be a mathematician and a computer analyst. For a more detailed explanation, let's go to the current world champion, Jim Kropfeld.
Really, there's not very much to it at all. Before I leave the dock, every time my crew always gives me my instructions, such as, well, I'm supposed to turn on one of these switches here, and I got a couple buttons. Well, maybe not that one there, but I got a couple over here that when I press these here, something happens, and I flip a couple switches here, and well, actually, if you really want to know the truth, we have a computer that does everything for us. And all I do is plug it in, plug it in, plug it in.
Jim Kropfeld in a lighter mood. As we told you, this heat was won by Steve Reynolds. Ron Armstrong grabbed 1B. Heat 2A was won by Ron Snyder and 2B by Milna Irving. Exciting racing throughout the day, and there's more to come. Visiting with us is the honorary race chairman, San Diego's first female mayor, Maureen O'Connor. May I say this? Every time I come to your San Diego, I fall in love with it more.
Well, thank you very much. I think we have a lot of exciting things. Obviously, you're in one of our most beautiful aquatic parks. We're going to have a convention center in about 12 months. We have cultural activities, you know, theaters and the zoo. I'm just real excited about San Diego, and as a native San Diegan, I think I have excellent taste.
I know how busy you are. Thanks for visiting with us today.
Thank you very much.
There are many unlimited courses dedicated to the great Bill Muncey, whose 62 victories they say will never be topped. He was known as Mr. Unlimited, but this course, Mission Bay in San Diego, is something special. It looked, for financial reasons, like there would no longer be unlimited racing here. But Bill Muncey put his money where his mouth was. His widow, Fran, now the owner of Muncey Racing, remembers that day well. Earlier, we visited with her.
Bill went to the city council and told them what a great deal it was and how they should support it. And the mayor said, well, Bill, if you think it's such a good deal, why don't you guarantee it? He said, all right, I will.
After Bill's tragic death, you were faced with an awful lot of decisions, Fran.
Well, I talked to Atlas Van Lines, and they decided to back me. So the next step was finding a driver. And I thought, of all the drivers, Chip Hanauer was always Bill's favorite. But of course, he already had a job, so I thought there would be no chance. But he wrote me a letter applying for the job. And so I just realized it was just a miracle. You know, it was just a lot of magic happening, and we just had to go forward. And so right then we had a team. If it had been my decision alone, I would have gotten out of the sport. But I felt that I had to do it for Bill, for his fans, for his memory, just because unlimited racing was his life.
In 5 years, 3 world championships and 5 consecutive Gold Cups. Fran Muncey proving she's more than a pretty face, and another of the stories behind the scenes in unlimited racing. The boats are going in the water. We're moments away from the start of the big race.